Hi, all. It's June, like the month. I hope you're well. I am going to talk about how to overcome procrastination. This is really in line with the video I did on accountability because I believe that accountability is ultimately the medicine and what everyone needs just to avoid and prevent like burnout or even just losing their way. Accountability is number one. That is the answer to it. But the reason why we procrastinate is because when, those things in life happen and you feel really shit one day and just nothing's going right, that's okay because that's part of the journey. You are not going to be able to avoid that. It is absolutely going to be part of it. You are going to experience it many times. It is not about what actually happens to you in that moment. It's about how you deal with it, right? It's okay. What are these obstacles that are just being thrown at you? And how are you deflecting them? How are you dealing with that? How are you taking that objection and spinning it so that you can keep going? Because ultimately, what we end up doing is because sometimes these things come at us and they are horrible. Like from team to systems to things that you've been working on, all of those emotions can come up. And when you just don't feel like it, that's fine too. Take your time, take a day off, switch off, and just take space from it, right? But it's when you allow yourself to keep not acting on anything. And because it's so painful, your body and your mind is resisting for you to have to deal with that issue. Your mind is telling you, no, this is really hurtful. This is not fun. It's not like enjoyable. Please don't look at that issue right now. And that is procrastination. That is the procrastinating part where the inaction, because you don't want to, and that's fair, that creeps up and causes more delays and it starts to show itself in imposter syndrome. It is shiny object syndrome. Sometimes it's just simply even your focus being so diversified and it's not able to focus anymore because you don't want to deal with it. It's not enjoyable. And the only way to move forward through this and almost you just got to check in with yourself. You have to check in with yourself and you've got to create the balance. Because if you overdo it, if you are just like pushing so hard and you're not listening to these cues, you're not listening to how you're like feeling around these things and you're not allowing yourself that rest period, that is going to eventually become burnout. And that is really bad to heal from. Burnout is one of those stages where you won't understand why you don't like doing the things that you once loved. And that is horrible because before, when you loved creating something or you enjoyed like putting together this idea and making that happen, and then you're losing your fire for it, you're losing your like passion for it, that's when burnouts kicked in. And that is actually so hard to heal from. And you need a lot more time to then get back to feeling good about the things that you do. Whereas if you prevent it and you allow yourself to play more, you allow yourself this make time so that you have like time blocked out to just be like, yep, I have this moment to rest. I don't need to show up in that way. I can be like having fun and not feeling guilty about the work that I need to do. There's really two main ways to prevent or overcome procrastination. The first way is to definitely not only allow rest, but you've got to check in with if this is feeling aligned anymore. You have to go back to your why, question it, and check in and see if that feels aligned with you anymore. Because a lot of the time, our goals might change based off like where we've continued moving like in on our business. Our businesses might pivot, things might change, and we don't check in with our why and our goals enough. Instead, as like beings that have set a goal and we see this and we're like, yep, that is what I need to get towards. I don't care that things have changed. I want to get there. So I'm going to keep pushing along. It's that persistency. And yes, you need that, but you also need to make sure that you're still driving towards the right direction. If you are accelerating on that car in the wrong direction, you're going the wrong way, it's going to take you longer to get back on track. Makes sense. The second thing I do to overcome procrastination is I absolutely find ways to feel less burdened. I don't want to feel so bad about not working. Sometimes I want to feel good about having my playtime. And I do that by leaning on my team, or I lean on my systems, or I lean on AI. And what I mean by that is I'll use those to make sure I feel like there's some sort of generated output while I get to rest. For example, I'll make sure that my team have all the things that they need to generate more like content, for example. And then that will make me feel like if I am able to take 2, 3 days off, then I know that's the time that I am healing. But I know that my business is still moving ahead and something is still like being done. And that takes the pressure off me. The other one with AI, if you don't have a team, is to just pop into ChatGPT what kind of output would really help you to take the next step. Because often it's just hard to begin. Maybe you ask AI, for your middle of funnel, I really need to work on some assets for this. What should be included? Leaning on AI is one of the most accessible things that you can do to overcome procrastination. I think this is something that everyone should be doing. Just use ChatGPT, ask it the question that would allow you to feel as though you don't have to do everything by yourself. If you ask it, hey, I'm working on this presentation. What kind of points should I put in to attract this target market? What are your thoughts? It's like you having a conversation with somebody and somebody being able to provide some form of direction on what you should do next. Kind of creating that accountability, but you're talking to a machine. Yeah. The other highest form, of course, to overcome procrastination is to stop really relying on just yourself. Oh, I know because I did it for years and years. We are completely and absolutely capable of running a business on our own. We have AI, we have all this stuff. But sometimes having humans around and having friends, having like minded other entrepreneurs to bounce off, to talk to, just complain to, even just means that you will make more progress. It's simple as that. I am a big believer in community and accountability as that factor. And it's why I have a bomb mastermind. It's created some of the most amazing groups that I have seen, where even weeks after we've completed our experience, they're like there supporting each other. And I love it. If you want to access my 33 helpful hacks, the link is below. It also has 77 other AI tools that might not be as useful, but that's a resource that you can take away. And if you're interested in the bomb mastermind, then let me know. Cool. I hope you liked that. I hope that was helpful. If you like the vibe, please subscribe. I'm Janae, and I hope you have an amazing day. Ciao. Bye.